Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball video for you this evening. If you haven't been watching, for many days we've been working on this Gottlieb 1963 swing-along pinball machine. And what a unique machine it is. So if you missed all the other videos where we actually fixed it, go back and check those out. We did one where we took the Playfield all apart and everything. We did one where we cleaned all the switches and everything, and then we did 2 videos of doing repairs on it. So it's a unique game, and was the first game that had a swinging target on it, more commonly referred to as a spinner. This was the invention of the spinner right here, folks. So we'll see what that's all about. But we finally got it pretty much finished. We had to put the glass on it and stuff like that. But it came out pretty good. Now, the paint job on the cabinet, we did not do. We bought it like that. But a woman came in and saw it sitting in here and wanted to buy it. And we told her, well, it's not ready. We got to do this. We got to do that. And she decided that she wanted it, and she didn't mind the paint, thought it looked pretty good. And so we just can't bring ourselves to spend all of the time and money to repaint it whenever she's already happy with it. But it's not the world's greatest paint job. If you look on the flyer, they did reproduce the original colors and the original placement of the design. So this is how it is supposed to look. It's just they didn't do the greatest job at it, whoever the imaginary they is. So they taped it off, and you've got some, it just ain't, I wouldn't have taped it. I would have just free-handed that sucker. Yeah. But the art does line up with the flyer. It is how it originally looked. It's just it's a little too clean. It's a clean machine. So they're supposed to have splatter paint on them and stuff like that. So it's not, we're just going to ignore that. But it does look clean, and it's, approximation. It's an approximation of how it's supposed to look. So we're going to leave that. We didn't do that. But the rest of it we've done a lot too. So the back glass here, we had to touch up a little bit. Mainly this area up here behind the woman's shoulders, her neckline, and her face. that had all flaked a little bit. So you can see how it looks from here. Looks pretty good, right? Nice and presentable. But if you get real close, you can tell that it was messed up. So that mottled kind of look on her skin is where the paint had flaked away. And what we did was now this, I don't know what that was. I didn't do that, but her skin had flaked away. All of that you're seeing was like that. It was flaked away. And so what we did was we cleared the back of it so that it wouldn't get any worse, and then we were able to spray paint a kind of like an ivory color behind it, and it kind of hid all of the areas that had flaked. So you get a very nice, presentable look with the lights on. Now, whenever you turn off the lights to where you see more of just the light shining through it is the only source of light, it's a little more apparent that it's not quite right. But all in all, I'm very happy with it. I think it looks great. And the rest of the back glass was in pretty good shape, other than it is faded pretty significantly. So there's an area over here that has not faded. And it's still the original kind of orangish red. But you can see that as it goes this way, it's faded all the way. So it kind of makes you wonder, why did it not fade over there in that corner? It almost looks like that it was a sunlight thing. So if the sun is coming in like this, you would get that kind of effect with the side of the box hiding the very edge of it and keeping it from fading. It's a damn shame because it's a really cool back glass. 1963. So it's dominated by this woman who's dancing. She's cutting a jig. What did they do in 1963? Was that the Hucklebuck? I can't remember. I wasn't around then. And there's all these little bubbles in the background. Why? Because it's a foam party. apparently, if you don't know about that, look it up. I've seen pictures. Weird. And there's this band playing, and they're just getting at it, right? So she has this very well-drawn figure, and it's very well-drawn. But it's 1963. They couldn't go too crazy, right? So that's how they were drawing in 1963. And this is how Stern was drawing in 1977. Little bit of a difference. Not much, but, you know. 1963. $1977. Look, people, I just comment. I didn't make it that way. But very well drawn figure right there in the middle. I mean, she looks great. It's just so cool. She looks like she's having a hell of a time. Really goes with the vibe of the machine. And so swing along, you know, you kind of get this vibe that it's a swing music, you know. And so you've got all these other characters here. So there's a lady apparently back here that's covered up by the hem of the woman's skirt. Jury's still out on this one. The guy's serving liquor to her. This guy, he's just watching. This guy's the third wheel. Oh no, he's with her. Never mind. She looks absolutely pissed. And then you've got these two here. And he's like, what? What'd I say? And you've got these two here doing the jitterbug. Look how happy this girl looks. Oh, Carl, you're always such a blast. You know it, Betty. Boy, he's very well dressed, isn't he? Look at that. Holy moly. He kind of looks like the Joker from the side. A little bit. It's probably just the hair. So anyway, so they're all dancing and having a good time in 1963. And then over here is our band. And so you got this guy who is playing the trumpet. Ball in play, right? So here's the trumpet player. Now he has a corresponding, what they call a swinging target on this game. And what we usually call a spinner. Right? So here he is again on the playfield. You see his beard. Same guy. Unfortunately, their jackets have also faded. They were probably a nice orangish red originally. Probably red, because if you look, a lot of the shadowing is done in orange, and it's still fine. So it must have been a red. Looking on the back glass, there's nothing that's red that's still red. So there's lots of orange. Like this woman's dress is entirely orange, and it looks fine. And the piano and the floor is brown, and it all looks fine. If you look up here, it's kind of like a purple, and it's fine. And then this up here, I think is like a different, I think that might be a different color. Well, maybe it's purple. I guess it's her shirt color, her blouse color. So it must have been it's just the red that is faded. It's a shame. And so this guy is playing the saxophone. Now, I believe that's an alto saxophone, if we're being specific. Right? Look, there's a piece. There's some paint from whoever painted the couch. So he's playing the saxophone, and he also has a spinner on the playfield. Now, whenever I got it, the saxophone one was over here. I probably should have looked at the flyer. Maybe it's supposed to go over here because I might have those two reversed. But it'll be okay, people. We'll get through it. Okay? And then you have this guy. He's banging them keys. Right? So he's playing the crap out of that piano. I don't know if I don't think he's on the playfield anywhere. And then you have this guy. Look at him. Obviously intoxicated, but still playing those drums. Look, he's playing them the old school way, too. If you've ever, I'm not a drummer, but I was in band. So the way people think you play the drums is you hold both of the sticks like this. But the old school way of playing the drums is you hold one stick like that, and you hold the other stick almost like a chopstick or something. And it gives you more of that jazzy sound, you know. So he's getting at it. Look at him. Boy, he looks like he's... That might be Roger Miller. Looks a lot like him. So a really good-looking back glass. Looks fantastic. And we put these little blinking bulbs behind the swing-along because we thought it fit the theme very well. And gives the game a little bit of an attract mode. So then on the playfield, you've also got art all over the place. So you've got this lady dancing. Now, she's not the same as any of the women on the back glass, I don't think, because her outfit's different. So I don't know who she is. She's a new one. She's blonde. Let's see. Make sure she's not. Yeah, she's not on the back glass. Okay, so she's dancing with this guy, and you know, it's whenever you see this, it's so stylized. It's easy to just see it and go, "Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it's pretty well drawn." But look at really what's going on here. This is 1963, and look at the colors that they're using, and look at how they're doing shading and stuff. It's really interesting the way that they did the art back then. Now, of course, everything is like photo collages and stuff on the newer machines, and it's much more realistic looking and has a lot more going on. I've got this NBA fast break here from the 90s. It was back when they still did line drawings. But in the 90s, they were still doing where everything was drawn by hand, you know. This thing's rough, man. We're going to have to work on this one pretty soon. But you can see how, you know, that's a hell of a little drawing there. They did a good job. Right? And so in the 90s, they were still doing that. And they, for a long time, they went to where they were doing kind of like photo collages and stuff, where they make a movie, a Lord of the Rings pinball machine, and there's pictures from the movie that are silk screened all over the playfield. And then people kind of got sick of that too, so they went back to actually line drawing the art on it. Ones like this, it's almost like a comic book, you know. So the comic books now are much more detailed than they used to be, though, you know. But if you look at an old Superman comic book, you'd see something similar to how this is drawn. So they had these great little line drawings. But look what's going on with this guy. His hair is purple, and the shadowing is black and orange. Or that's actually red, black and red. So they did the shadows on his hair with red, but his hair is actually purple. And you don't really see it and think it looks weird because it's all done so well, and it's all so stylized that you go, well, that's just how they did it back then. And the background is like yellow and mint. Like you would never say, hey, let's make it mint and yellow. And we'll give the guy a purple jacket and mint pants. Like nobody would, you know, that would make no sense, but yet it works and looks just fine, okay? And so the lady has a similar thing going on. So all of the shadowing on her is done with green, the same mint color, you know? Look how they've done that. That's not as easy as it looks, man. I mean, somebody talented drew this. Right? And so you got this couple here, same thing. So this guy's got purple pants, and she's got red, you know, and she's got purple hair. He's got black hair. And then they use the purple to suggest his eyelids. His eyelashes. And then they use the purple to do the shadow under his neck. You know, just very well done. And so they've done that all over the playfield. This guy has purple hair with yellow highlights, like where it looks like maybe a spotlight shining on him or something. I mean, these people weren't playing around. Whoever drew this stuff really knew what they were doing. So, I like it. Looks great. And so it's just a really cool swing kind of scene, you know. The plastics are still in really good shape, with the exception of this one has a little chip at the top. But there's a keyboard here, You've got the just bubbles and music notes here. And then up here you got a few couples. They're doing some kind of fast dance. And then they're doing a more of a close dance, but they're cutting a rug, man. Look at that. Killing it. Cold Chillin' Records. Is that what it's? Cold Chillin' Boulevard. Anyway, so the Playfield, if you look, there are 4 areas of color that correspond with the 4 pop bumpers. So there is a yellow area up this direction with this yellow pop bumper. And if you hit that yellow target, it turns on the yellow pop bumper. So you only get 1 point on this until it lights up. Now keep in mind, this is a low scoring game. This is an older one, so there's only 3 score reels, and then there's a 1 that lights up if you get over 1,000 points. And people have said, well, what happens if you get 2,000 points? Well, they have to stop somewhere. On the later ones, the alphanumeric ones, what happens if you get 9,999,999? They can't keep going. So that's the yellow area. And then you have a corresponding purple area over here, and it's freaking purple. Now look at how they did all of this stuff back then. It's plastic, but it's this kind of marbleized look. Look how cool that looks, man. This one has a little bit of chipped skirt, but I didn't have a replacement purple one. But like all of the posts back then had this kind of marbleized look, and they don't make them like that anymore, unfortunately. Even the lane guides. So up here under this one, there is a purple lane guide, and under this one, there's a yellow one. They both have that marbleized look. And then once you hit the switch, not only does it turn on the purple pop bumper, but it also turns on the purple 50 points when lit light. And the insert in the Playfield is actually purple, so it lights up purple. Same thing over here, you have a yellow one. Okay, and so down here you have a green one, which I've actually hit. And it lights up the green pop bumper, and it also lights up this green 50 points when lit. And look, that's a nice green insert that looks fantastic. And then over here you have the red switch, which lights up the red pop bumper, which we've hit. And you have this nice bright red insert that looks great. So they had the inserts have really deep colors, just the way they were made. And then the Playfield is dominated by the 3 spinners. So this one is worn a little bit. You can replace those with a sticker and everything, but since it's the first game that had spinners and these are the original spinners, I just left it. Rat-a-tat-tat, the little drummer boy. So very cool. It would be more cool if I got my focus to work right. What is it doing? Okay, so red section, green section, purple section, yellow section. If you go up through here, you also light one of the swinging targets to make it worth 10 points instead of 1 point. Again, very low scoring, but that's how they did it. And it has the little 2-inch flippers. A product of Gottlieb and Company, manufacturer Chicago, 51, Illinois. Swing along. So, let's read the instructions, shall we? They should be simple. 1 or 2 players. Instructions: insert 1 coin and wait for machine to reset before inserting coin for second player. Players take turns shooting as shown on the back glass. Points are scored as indicated. A tilt by 1 player disqualifies only that player. This one's a really cutthroat one, man. If you tilt this thing, your game is over. I don't mean your ball is over. No, your game is over. Time for another dime, sucker. But it has a separate tilt for each player. So you see where that's where the light is on the first player's side. And then that's where the light is on the second player's side. So you could feasibly have the first player tilt, and then I believe it goes over where the second player just plays the remainder of their balls, and the first player doesn't get to play again. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So, pretty crazy. All right, so cool little game. We'll get the tripod and we'll play it a little bit and see what you think. It's kind of fun. One thing you might notice about the cabinet is it has shorter legs on the front than it does on the back. So the older Gottliebs had a big deep cabinet and they used 27-inch legs. And then the newer Gottliebs had a thinner cabinet and they used 31-inch legs. And then a few of them in the middle used both. So the front of the cabinet's deeper than the back of the cabinet. It just hasn't, that's a design choice that they made. Pretty interesting. There were some Williams games that looked almost identical. Did the same thing. They were taller in the front and shorter in the back. Just something they were going through for a while. Okay, folks, we're going to play it a little bit. So a few things. One, there are rings on the flippers. We've had lots of people ask us on lots of games why there were no rings on the flippers. On these little flippers, the little 2-inch stunners, I call them, they have a white ring on it, a 1-inch white rubber ring. So it is around there. That is a rubber ring right there. Okay? That's first. Second, I looked up the spinners because the left spinner is of a saxophone, but the guy behind it is on the playfield is playing a trumpet. The right spinner is of a trumpet, but the guy behind it on the playfield is playing a saxophone. So I have seen, whenever we got it, that's how it was set up. I have seen pictures of people with them set up like this. I have seen pictures of people with them set up the other way. The drum's always in the middle, right? So it appears that other people have thought the same thing. Shouldn't the saxophone be on the right in front of the guy with playing the saxophone? And shouldn't the trumpet be on the left in front of the guy playing the trumpet? So I went to the expert on all things swing along, the flyer. And so on the flyer of the game, there is a line drawing of this machine, and if you zoom in really close, it shows that in fact there is a saxophone spinner on the left and a trumpet spinner on the right. So if they drew it like that on the flyer, people, that must be how it's supposed to be. So now we've solved the issue, okay? We have figured it all out. And now we're going to play this sucker. And I'm going to try, I've got it set on 5-ball. I usually play these on 3-ball, but it's so old I figured 5-ball. Because I'm pretty sure all the really old ones were 5-ball. So anyway, let's see what we can do. Now another thing I want to do is I want to start a 2-player game. And I want to on purpose tilt it and see if it really does take your entire game from you, and if it then allows the other player to play and you have to skip every single freaking turn. I think that's probably what it's going to do. But we'll see. But we'll play a 1-player game first just to check it out. So I already started it to get the lights on and it reset everything. So I'll call out the score to you. Oh. Boy, it's a long way from there to there. Now I don't want to hear any complaining, people. Oh, missed it. 30 though, that's pretty good. Whoa, I didn't get a very good flip off that one. If you flip it with that part instead of that part, you don't get as much of a flip. I'm up to 105 points. Oh, man. Ball 4. Oh, another thing I should mention. If you look all the way up at the top of the playfield, see the red lights? This is interesting. See the red lights, and then next to it is like a yellow light? Those on the playfield actually have a sleeve around them. So the reason that's a red light, they're all just the same incandescent bulbs. The reason that one's red and that one's red is because they have this red tube around them that's made of plastic to color them red. So they're tinted, and it fades a little bit over time. So those are a little bit, probably a little bit more faded than they would have originally been. So originally they would have been likely a much brighter red. Okay. Now remember how on this one there's different colors to the playfield. So right here is the red area. That light also has the red tube, but it's basically the size of the thing has warped over time, and it's slid down to where it won't stay over the bulb. So now it's down over the metal, but it's actually still in there. So I pulled it up and looked at it, and it made all of that glow red, right? There's a green one on this one, a yellow one on that one, and a purple one on that one. But they're not in place in the right thing. So, if somebody was to put a colored incandescent bulb in there that was red, green, purple, and yellow, that would not be out of bounds because that's probably how it looked originally. Or you could do an LED, but look at that. They're messing with me. So it looks like when you go through the spinner, you get a nice score, but when it comes back down through the spinner, you lose the ball a lot of the time. All right, so we got 234 points. So I am going to try to start a two-player game, if it will indulge me. That's a one-player. I hit it again, and that's a two-player. All right, so whenever I was whenever I was doing one of the repair videos, I couldn't get it to start a two-player game. I finally figured out why that is. There was the first ball relay was not working. So the game would only start after it had been tilted, and it would not start a second player because of that. You might have saw where I was trying to get the bulb, the second player bulb to come on. Sometimes we figure out more stuff after we film the repair videos. So I ordered a new relay for the first ball relay and replaced it, and everything is working good now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt, or try to tilt, this first player. So let's see if we can get it to tilt. Oh, we tilted it. Oh no. I tilted it. So the only thing lit up is it says ball one, it says tilt, and the two-player light is still lit up. Wow, okay, let me show you what happened. So it tilted, everything went dark. Everything on here went dark except it still said still said ball one. They were dark, she was dark, this was dark, and all that it said was two players. So earlier, whenever I started the two-player game, the one and the two players was lit up. Right? It completely killed it. I might do it again here in a minute if that works like that. But it looks like it has now forfeited the first player's entire game, and the second player is just going to play. So it says player. I'm on the second player reels. It says two players instead of not saying one or two players anymore. And we'll see what happens. So it's the second player. Yep. So now it's second player ball two. The first player lost his whole game because he got rough with the machine. What was he thinking? Oh no. Oh no. And you know, for the way those flippers, for the way those balls fall through the spinner, you'd think it would take a little more of a nudge, because you know everybody's going to be trying to get it to not fall right down the middle. We're still on player two, ball three. Yeah. Oh, man. I got the bum flip again. Okay, ball 4, player 2. Ball 5, player 2. All right, I'm gonna do it one more time so you can see the horror that is when the thing, whenever the thing tilts. Okay. So we restart it. Okay, see how it says 1 players right here? 1 players can play at the same time, it says. All right. 1 or 2 players can play at the same time, right? So it's going to start at, we're in a 2-player game. So let me play a ball of each one so you can just see how it normally does. So this is the first player's ball 1. See ball 1 down on the left? All right, so we got a whole 44 points, and then it switches over to player 2, right? So this is player 2's ball. See how it still says 1 or 2 players can play at the same time? All right. So now we're back to player 1, right? So player 1, he's trying to nudge it because it's coming through one of those spinners and it's going to go right down the middle. So he's nudging the game. I gotta save it, right? Oh no, he tilted it. I guess the band guys and the girl do stay lit up. But look, it kills both of the scores. There's a tilt light that comes up in player 1, and there's also a separate tilt light on player 2 if they tilted. But look what it did. It just has the 2 on. So there had to be a meeting at some point where they said, yeah, that's right. They're going to lose their whole freaking quarter. Or is a dime. They're going to lose their whole dime. And you know what? Turn off their damn light. Turn off the 1. Don't let them think they can still play another 4 balls. So after that person loses their plunge and the ball falls down, the playfield's completely dead. It switches over to the second player. The left one still says tilt. Ball 3, it just skipped right over the first player again. The machine is very upset that they tilted it. And the final ball. So after it's done, it'll reset all the lights. And the tilt light's still on, just to shame them a little bit more. Everybody knows they tilted it. Yeah, that's right. Bob tilted the machine again. I done kicked him out of this joint 3 times. He keeps tilting the machine. All right, so let's play it again and just see if we can get a score. I got 241 that time. We'll just play a little 1-player game, and I'll try not to tilt it. You know, I do have the 10-point pop bumper turned on now. Oh, now I got 2 10-point pop bumpers turned on. Whoa, did you see that? I airballed it the whole time. But we're going to rack them points up now because we got both of the 10-point bumpers on. If I could ever get one of those spinners. We're up to 103 points at the beginning of ball 3. At this rate, I can't lose. Uh-oh. If it's coming through the spinner from the top, you're in trouble. 185 points. Beginning of ball 4. Get over there and get those 10 pointers. There we go. Ooh. Oh, the damn spinner's worth 10 points too. Oh man, that was slick. Oh, did you see that? I got blocked by the spinner. All right, we got 285 points. Yeah, I hit the spinner and it was turned and it made the ball bounce off of it. I've never done that before. Okay, so another thing I want to try. What happens if you just tilt it in the middle of the game? Does it just go to game over and all the lights come on, or does it like everything stay off? All right, so let's tilt it. I want to. One of the reasons that I don't tilt them whenever I'm playing is because I don't want to break the damn thing. All right, so it says tilt, ball in play number 2, so the playfield's completely dead, and it should, I guess, just go to game over after this. No, we're just completely dead. So the game's tilted. It's not doing nothing. Everything's dark. It says tilt on the one player, and the back glass lights are on, and it says ball in play 2. So I guess I got to put another quarter in to start the game. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So it will completely tilt it. Now you might notice too. I've mentioned it a few times while we've been playing. The last thing I'd like to show is that this is such an old game that they are on purposefully. Now you see how they're able to do whatever they want, really. You know. So they're making it in the game, but the other person still be able to play. They're making certain lights turn off and things like that. So it's a lot of the game rules, and the reason that they're doing things isn't because they're limited. It's because they want it specifically that way. They could figure out a way to do things differently if they wanted. So for instance, notice that the green pop bumper, the red pop bumper, and the yellow pop bumper are still on. So the only one left is this purple one. If I hit this target, it'll turn on the purple pop bumper. But notice we've played like 3 or 4 games like that. It stayed like that. So you could walk up to it like we did when we first started playing, and none of the pop bumpers are on, which means you're going to get a lot less points because you only get 1 point every time you hit the pop bumper. And then you don't have these 50 points when lit rollovers lit. So there's 3, one here, and one here that are lit. You get 50 points anytime you go down any of those. And then this one's dark. And I know it sounds foolish now to be talking about, oh, you can get 10 points instead of 1 point. People, the modern machines, all they did was add a bunch of zeros, okay? So it's the same thing. It just doesn't have as many zeros behind it. If we light this purple one, it then lights this on the playfield that says 100 points resets targets when lit when you drain the ball. So if you light the 4th one, it only lasts for as long as you keep the ball. As soon as you drain the ball, everything resets back to everything's worth a point. These 50 points when lit turn off, and it'll stay like that for however many games until somebody is able to hit the proper targets and build it back up. It's also worth noting that while you can hit the red and the green one with the flippers, you can't hit the top ones with the flippers. They're hid way up here in the corners. So the only way to hit that purple one is to get the ball over there, maybe try to plunge it into these last 2 lanes where if it hits the purple pop bumper, it'll hit it. It's kind of luck, you know. It's not really a skill shot. You know, I take that back. I think you might... Yeah, I'm wrong. There is a shot. If you hit with this flipper through that spinner, you can hit that target. It lines up. So maybe that's our goal. We got to get that purple target. Oh, there we go. All right, so now watch. When I lose the ball, it resets all of them. And I was unable to even score anything off of that. I don't think it hit the pop bumper after it was worth 10 points, and then it basically drained, so I didn't get any of the 50-point ones. So now it's reset, and the table is much less scoring now. So it's a much harder game if you don't have any of that stuff on. But you know, if you were good enough, you could just turn that stuff on at will, I guess. Now that we've noticed that you can hit the top ones. Whoa. When I hit that pretty good right spinner that one time, I wonder if I did hit the yellow target whenever it went all the way through. Oh, you see it? I almost pulled it off. Just in case you were thinking that the flippers aren't strong enough, they are. It's just they're little. You got to get them just right, you know. I'm having a good game this time, even with losing that the 10-point pops. Oh, almost hit it again. So yeah, you can hit all four of them. I mean, I'm bouncing right around it. I just bounced right around the yellow one. Whoa. Okay, ball 5. There's my purple one, and I got 50 points for going through that target. Oh, then it took it from me. Come on now. Come on now. All right, we got 574 points that time. I'm getting much better. It's funny how when you start figuring out the rules, you get better. All right, so I want to try to make that long shot and hit the yellow target, or the long shot and hit the purple target, even though the purple one's already activated. So 574, but now since I've got more stuff on, I possibly can get a higher, you know, a better score. So, oh, almost have my 50. And you know, you can also get that where it lights the spinner for 10 points when lit. That resets at the end of each ball. So if you roll through this rollover, or this one, it says lights one swinging target. So it'll light one of these up, but at the end of each ball, that resets. All right, 68 points, ball 2. Oh, well, I got 50 points on the way out the door. All right, we're at 250, beginning of ball 3. Come on now. Nope, missed it. Around the world. See, watch, it'll reset. So I had that one lit, but now it's gone. 306, beginning of ball 4. I don't mind being over on that left side up at the top because you're hitting, hopefully, those pop bumpers, unless it does that. I saw that unlucky bounce coming. 348, beginning of ball 5. Yeah, give me them points. 50 points right there. Got the lucky. Oh, man. All right, 572 points. But you know what? We're going to play it again. Look how well the Playfield's set up now. All I got to do is keep getting it over here, and you get all kinds of points off these pops. All right, so 572, and I guess the other one was 574. Let's see if I can get any higher than that. I think we might be able to take it higher. Ooh. Come on, people. The flippers were hard enough that it hit the glass. 135, beginning of ball 2. Oh, I bounced off of it. It just didn't hit it hard enough. I hit it. Oh, nope. Nope. Oh, man. You can get a bad bounce off those little triangles, and it'll bounce right out past the flipper. All right, 197, beginning of ball 3. Oh, wrong side. There we go. Oh, 50 points. Didn't get the purple one, even though it's already activated. Those swingers are deadly, man, once it falls through those. 318, beginning of ball 4. Okay, 50 points. That's good. Oh, no. We saved it. Those swinging targets you can adjust. I kind of got it where you had to go all the way through it to get the points, but you could adjust it where if you just tap it, you get the points. Just depends on how you have the switch adjusted. Okay, 443, beginning of ball 5. Oh, I was robbed. Oh, it's also lit up the left sling for 10 points. Come on now, they're teasing me. Come on now. Give me some points. I need some points. All right, folks, there you go. 720 points. That's probably about as good as I'm going to be able to do. Very cool. Well, she plays pretty good, really. It's just, you know, these old ones with the smaller flippers and stuff, it's just it's a different game. And I won't do it the disservice of saying, well, it's not pinball, because this is pinball. This is what pinball is. The newer ones, maybe they're not pinball. How about that? Right? They're fun too, and you could argue they're more fun. I understand that. They're faster paced. You can get higher scores. There's more toys you can do. You know, there's more shots. It's really cool. There's different modes. You can play them long term and get really good at them. I understand all that. All of that is really cool, and I like all of those. But whether you like it or not, this is pinball. It's simple. It's got bells. This is the first one that had the little swinging targets, you know. But it doesn't have multi-ball. It doesn't have any ramps. It doesn't have a DMD that you read while you're playing. But I like it. It's fun. It's something special. Look at it. Look how beautiful. Very cool. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'll bet you did. I'll bet you did, because it's undeniable, isn't it? So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think of it. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. And we'd like to thank all of you people, everybody, right here at Christmas time, that has been using our Amazon links and buying all of your Christmas presents on Amazon. That's nice of y'all to do. It seems like the thing that most people buy on our Amazon links is like some kind of computer equipment. So whoever all of those people are that are buying stuff like that, we appreciate it. So if you don't know about the Amazon links, down below there is a link basically to Amazon, and if you click that link, it's for there's different ones for different countries. It takes you to Amazon, and then if you buy anything on Amazon, like we all do from time to time, or a lot of us do, it gives me a little chunk of change for sending you there. Isn't that special? So it gives us a royalty because we sent you to Amazon, which is proven by you using our link. Right? So thank you to everybody that's been doing that. We appreciate it. We don't get a bunch of money from it, but hey, we like doing that because it's a way that people can support the channel, but they don't have to send us hard-earned money. You know what I mean? you all work very hard for your money, and you don't have a ton of it. Do any of us really have enough money? So you don't need to be sending me any money. We're running a business here. We'll make money when we sell this machine, right? But if you want to buy something on Amazon and it gives us part of the, it doesn't raise your price, it gives us part of the money you gave Jeff Bezos, we don't mind doing that. That's pretty cool. And then also, if you haven't checked out my brother Donnie, what have you been doing all year? We started this, I think, in January, or maybe a little later, maybe March or something. We started telling you people about this wonderful new channel that started called My Brother Donnie, who is literally my brother Donnie. So the way it happened was, he saw that Joey and I'm Ron, by the way. I'm not Joe. At the beginning of the videos, I say, well, let me think, how do I start it out? Ladies and gentlemen, this is another, now how do I start it? What do I say? Oh, this is what I say. I remember now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool pinball video for you this evening. Here in beautiful downtown, historic downtown Rock Hill, right? Now, I never said I'm Joe. I said this is Joe's Video Games. That's the name of our business. It's my brother's name, right? So there's three of us. Joe, I'm Ron, and Donnie. My brother Donnie is the third ninja, right? He doesn't really know karate, so don't, you know. He has those magic dogs. He doesn't need to know karate. So he's crazier than the two of us are, and he started his own channel. Lately, he and I have been working on this old dilapidated building in this little town near here that used to be a grocery store, and we've been filming our trials and tribulations with that, and it's pretty fun. And so lately he's been up on the roof helping put new shingles on, and he made it through all that without falling off the roof. This weekend, though, he was back up on the roof trying to replace a little piece of wood that needed replacing. He made it back down again, and he's been painting, building walls. I thought the ceiling was going to collapse because it was load-bearing, but we got that all straightened out. We didn't do it. We were trying to fix it. Somebody had cut out a load-bearing wall, so we put that back, and always lots of fun. And also, the video will come eventually that we are doing on the Great Hole of Jefferson. That's right. There is a big hole behind one of the buildings that we call the Great Hole of Jefferson, and we have never figured out what in the world it is, but one of these days we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're amassing footage as we speak. We just haven't edited it all together yet. But we're doing research, and we have found some interesting things. So look forward to the video on the Great Hole of Jefferson. I can tell you that it starts in the 1800s. Or I guess it will, our information ends up in the 1800s. So we're doing a lot of research on that. So if you like crazy stuff like that, go check out his channel, My Brother Donnie. But we're going to keep this all going too. So we'll see you on the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Gottlieb's Amazing Swing Along.